Okay, here we go. This is video number 2 of Trudy's boondocking adventures. Today I'm going to be talking about handling your utilities effectively when you have no hookups. And today you get to see my 71-year-old face and hear my scratchy old voice. So thank you for putting up with that. I had to take a few notes because I've got a lot to cover today. Let's talk first about electricity and fresh water. I was recently told by an experienced boondocker that fresh water will be your first limiting factor in how long you can maintain yourself in a off-grid situation. Most people, including myself, assume that electricity is the first limiting factor to get used up. But if you work on your setup, you can have enough battery storage capacity and enough solar panel wattage to maintain yourself, except for on a series of cloudy, rainy days, when in that case you use your portable generator and your gasoline or propane, or with a dual fuel generator, both. That can tide you over until the sun comes out. On the next video, I will discuss electricity in more depth. But today, let's talk about water acquisition, its use, and conservation. Currently, I'm 13 days into my boondocking adventure. So first, where to get it? I don't always have deep pockets, so my first consideration is, in all things, is where can I get it for free, or at least as cheaply as possible? Everything that I mention in my videos is on a what I've learned so far basis. So therefore they will be ever evolving and subject to future updates. Your comments and suggestions will be very welcome. So number 1, if and when you park near a friend or relative's house with a fresh potable water spigot close by, fill up your 19-gallon freshwater tank. And always use your pressure water reducer and inline water filter. Page 2. Run some fresh water through that hose first before attaching it to the camper to rinse the internal part of the hose out. And if you think, oh, I won't bother putting the water pressure reducer on this time because there won't be too much water pressure, it's not necessary. You'll learn the hard way, like I did, that it is necessary. And what's going to happen is there's a little yellow flip lever safety valve underneath one of the bunks on the port side towards the aft of your camper, that when it senses too much pressure, it flips up and it stops any incoming water and diverts it to a relief drain on the underside of your camper. No more water will be going into your camper. It will all be going to ground. And it happens very quietly, and so it takes a while for you to realize, oh, this isn't working like it's supposed to. Meanwhile, your family, all standing by, watching you, will silently downgrade their opinion of you from a competent camper to loser. So it's that little yellow flip valve is really good to know about, and also really good to know where to find it and how to flip it back to let the water in position. And it so often has all to do about whether or not you were good and remember to put that pressure reducer device in line so that too much pressure doesn't come into your camper. The water pressure pump pressurizes your system to right about 45 psi. Now, even though you've sanitized your tank, theoretically, hopefully, like you should, and I did, and you'll set up a system for yourself as to how often to sanitize it, You do not drink this water out of your tank. You can use it for showering, washing dishes, but don't drink or cook with this water. Always be on the lookout for free access to water spigots. I most often find them in county or city parks. I could pull up, fill my, usually I just fill my 4-gallon freshwater tote and then upload that water into my 19-gallon freshwater tank when I have time later. But with state parks, not so much. The state park that's closest to me, I called recently and asked if there were any place to get a little fresh water for my tank. And they said, sure. You pay $16 to enter the park, and then you pay $10 to use our dump station. Upon which I mentioned that I just want to get 4 gallons of fresh water. I'm not using anything else. And they went, that'll be $16 to empty the park and $10 to use the dump station. So I took a hard pass on that one because that doesn't equate to free or cheap as possible in my book. So speaking of that 4-gallon water tote that I have, water, as a lot of you probably already know, weighs 8.3 pounds per gallon. And let's say you fill up a 4-gallon water tote. That now weighs 33.2 pounds. And that, as a 71-year-old female, is about all I can carry, and only for a short distance. So here's the tip. Know your strength ahead of time, and don't go buy a larger tote than what you're capable of carrying. You'll just take up space in your car, because you won't be able to fill it up all the way. Then, when you're not within hose length of a spigot, you can fill up your tote and carry it to the Nautilus cubby. Using the sanitize setting in that Nautilus cubby, you can upload that 4 gallons into your freshwater tank and then repeat as necessary until you get as much water as you want or until the 19 gallons is full. And the way you know it's full is by going up to your control panel and pushing the little button to see how full is your freshwater tank. Or if you don't want to do that, you actually don't have to. You can just, as you're filling up the tank, you can keep an eye out underneath the stern of your camper, because when it's totally full, it will start to come out of an overflow valve on the underside of your camper, and then that water will go to ground, just like, as we used to say in the hospital, I'm a retired surgical nurse, old people go to ground. I'm now old. So, anyway, this is the order in which it works best to do this uploading of water when you're not putting the water in just with a hose from what we call city water. So first, in the Nautilus cubby, set the levers to the sanitized position. Number 2, open the water fill inlet, and inside you're going to find a mesh screen washer that's got the screen protruding outward. Pull that screen out, flip it over, and put it back in with the mesh screen now protrudes inward, and that mechanically pushes in a check valve and opens it up to allow your water to go into the freshwater tank. So then when you've put that that little tiny screen washer into that position, seems silly to have to do that, but you do. You can connect your, I use a 5-foot garden hose, nice little short hose, with your pressure reducer device on it. You can connect that to your water fill inlet in your Nautilus cubby and stick the other end in your 4-gallon or however big water container. You turn on the pump switch, which is located inside the Nautilus cubby, and watch the water get drawn in. If that's not enough, if you want water, then you turn the pump off, just go back and refill your tote a few times as needed, keeping an eye on your systems panel or the overflow drain, and then you'll know when it's full and you can stop. Page 4. I'm sorry, I had to take notes. I'm new at this, and y'all make me very nervous. Okay, so number 7 is turn off the water pump, remove the hose, reverse the screen washer so that the screen now protrudes outward like you found it initially, and then finally put the levers back into the dry camping position. Forget how easy it is to forget that last step. So here's something that bears repeating. I only fill my freshwater tank with known potable water, but no matter how many filters that water has passed through, I still never drink it. Never. I learned that lesson the hard way in a lovely state park in North Florida on one of my first camping trips. I thought that since the water passed through my CampGo inline water filter and then through my countertop filter system, that it would be fine to drink. But not even close. Blah! It was terrible, disgusting. Later that day I went to a gas station to buy a few jugs of drinking water, and I mentioned this to the cute young little girl behind the checkout counter, and she said, "Oh yeah, none of us ever drink the tap water here in our homes. The county water is horrible, disgusting." So lesson learned, and later I emptied the freshwater tank, rinsed it, threw away and replaced both filters and all containers that water had been in. Now I carry that 4-gallon water jug of filtered drinking water, and I said it wrong. Back up. Now I carry up to 4-gallon jugs of filtered drinking water, and I use that for cooking and consumption. So in the back of my car, I keep a milk crate that holds those 4-gallon jugs for drinking water, and it holds them nicely in place so that they don't get knocked about and get opened up and spill on the inside of your car. I use about one of those gallon jugs per day. Every time that I go somewhere where they can be filled, I do it. Such as my favorite gym where I shower every other day, I fill 2 gallons when I go. These days, many water cooler water fountains have these lovely little spots to fill drinking water containers, and those work great as well for gallon jugs. So now, conserving water, drink water all you want, stay hydrated, but don't shower in the wet bath, or if you do, make it the fastest army shower on the face of the earth. Better yet, use a gym instead or a family member's house when possible. Reduce dishwashing to a minimum by using paper plates and bowls. Even though it disturbs me to do this, it really helps. And rinsing is a huge water consumer, so do that very conservatively, and also the same with toilet flushes. Info on sanitizing the freshwater tank can be found in the Pentair. See if I can hold this up that you can see it. SureFlow Pump Manual on page 2. Info on finding and opening that pesky little yellow safety drain valve lever can be found in the Aldi Compact 320 Operating Instruction Manual on page 11. So that's it for my very first discussion of water usage while boondocking in your Tab 320 SBD. So until next time, my friends, stay safe, be well, and God bless.